Hey guys, I'm Kate with TypeMatch. Now, there's this word floating around in the MBTI sphere called golden pairs, which is basically just the MBTI community's word for a soulmate of MBTI types. So, do I think that golden pairs actually exist in MBTI? My answer is no. I think that that is a gross oversimplification of a person, because just think like, is all there is to you your MBTI type? If you're an INTJ, are you just like every other INTJ out there? If you think that your golden pair as an INTJ is an ENTP, which I disagree with, but I'll make another video about what I think most compatible types are and why I disagree with the theory of shadow types being the golden pairs are most compatible. But is every INTJ equally compatible with every ENTP? Obviously, the answer is no. So does that mean that golden pairs really don't exist? Because okay, you have your MBTI type, which really isn't who you are as a person, although a lot of people will want to identify themselves as such because it's a simple system of saying something that is fundamentally important about you. It is not all there is to you. It is not really who you are. It's not your identity unless you choose to attach your identity to it. But all that your MBTI type is are your preferences for the ways in which you primarily perceive the world and take in perception information, and then your preferences for how you primarily make judgments based on that information. It's understanding how your mind works, but is that really who you are? Is that all there is to you? And then within MBTI type, we have subtypes. So for example, Victor Gulenko, who is big in the socionics system, has a system of 4 subtypes. So maybe the normalizing subtype of one personality type is not compatible with the creative subtype, I forget what that's called, of another personality type. So we have to take that into account. Also important are the culture in which you live and grow up. Your gender, personality types manifest differently within the genders. Your big 5 scores, which are, it's also called OCEAN, which is an acronym standing for openness, conscientiousness, extroversion, agreeableness, and neuroticism. So based on those personality measures, you may be more or less compatible with somebody of a certain personality type. There are people who are classified as extroverts within the MBTI system, but within the Big 5 system, they're more classified as introverts. And some P types are higher in conscientiousness than others. And I see a lot of people conflate the two systems, and they think that like being an N type, being an intuitive means automatically that you are high in trait openness, but is not the same thing. So that's also something very important to look at, and why we have already integrated the Big 5 into the TypeMatch app, because we realize there's so much more to who you are within just personality. When we're trying to get a bigger picture of who somebody really is, aside from just being like, you know, MBTI Tinder. There are plenty of other ones out there trying to do that, but we understand that compatibility is far more complex than just knowing a person's MBTI type, although it is an awesome starting point and it is a huge help. Your personal experience plays a large role in it. Maybe like your past traumas, if you come from a difficult past, your attachment style. That's something I'm getting deeper and deeper into, and also something we're going to be including within the TypeMatch system. Do you have a secure attachment style or an insecure attachment style? Are you a dismissive avoidant? Do you have an anxious attachment style? This is going to play a huge role, maybe not so much in compatibility, although dismissives and anxious do tend to attract each other, but it will play a massive role in the ultimate success of the relationship, which is our measure for success of the app. Not total matches, not relationships, but we want to look at the health of the relationship. So that's the standard by which we are judging our success as a company, as an app, and the direction we're moving towards in the future. Your age, which isn't always synonymous with your maturity level, but that's absolutely something to look at. Depending on your level of development and growth within your personality type, within yourself, you may be attracted to and looking for a different type of person in your youth than you are ultimately looking for as you grow. And also, different types can help you mature different aspects of yourself. Maybe you are, I'm going to come back to INTJ again, I don't know why. Maybe you're an INTJ who's working on their SE, and right now you're very attracted to people with high SE as you explore that aspect of you and try to grow your inferior function. Your level of intelligence, which is, again, not attached to your MBTI type, okay? Like even the super intelligent types. There are a lot of people within those types, those NT types, the rationals, who really aren't so bright. So that plays a major factor in whether you're ultimately compatible with somebody. Like people aren't going to respect and they're not going to have a successful relationship with someone if there's a vast difference in their level of intelligence. Not going to be able to communicate properly with each other and understand each other. Your values, your beliefs, your religion, your political beliefs, okay? If you're somebody who's highly religious and you're maybe you're Muslim and that's very important to you, well, then does it matter that this guy is an ENTP? Well, there's more to it. Like, is he also a Muslim? Do we share the same beliefs? Do we share the same culture? Do we share the same political views? For FI users, especially if an FI user is going to get into a relationship with another FI user, my MBTI nerds will know what I'm talking about here. It's very, very important that those FI users share a common set of values. TI users, it's a little bit easier because FI is extremely variable in what it can value. It's highly individual to the person. Whereas TI, while the logic is individual to the person, TI users tend to arrive at the same place, whereas FI users frequently do not. And then what is your lifestyle? What are your personal interests that you can, practice together? Your hobbies, is one of you super into a healthy, fit lifestyle and the other is not, and you're going to lose respect for that person because, your lifestyles just don't mesh. You're going to have a lot of conflict within the home. And then at the very end, I don't like the idea of golden pairs because it negates the importance of hard work in a relationship. I think it creates this fairy tale myth that if you find your MBTI golden pair, then they're just going to, you're like a puzzle piece, you're going to fit together perfectly, you're going to feel understood, and then it's happily ever after. And while the beginning of that may be true, you may feel completely understood, all relationships require development and hard work, and different relationships are going to force you to develop in different ways. So we are going to be incorporating as much as possible all of these aspects and more within the TypeMatch system to get an entire picture of who somebody really is at a fundamental level as a person, what's important about you, and we're getting rid of all of the trash, other apps, asking you about how tall you are, what do you do for work? Does that ultimately matter to your compatibility with a person? Yes, but you can uncover that in your interesting conversations that you can have together. What we're looking for is really a much deeper level connection that goes beyond some basic level data about who a person is and doesn't allow you to actually narrow down properly who you should be spending your time talking to, going on dates with, because it doesn't really tell you about who they are as a person. It just tells you the facts of their life, which isn't enough to be able to choose or to be able to form a healthy relationship. We want people to understand all of these different aspects about themselves so that they can then communicate that to their partner, like, hey, I have a lot of trauma in my life, so I've got this insecure attachment style and I'm working on it in this way, but what I need from you is this. And to be able to have those conversations about what their human needs are, rather than just having arguments because the other person isn't meeting a need that they don't even know that they have. So you should check out the TypeMatch app. Of course, we don't have all of these things incorporated right now. We are working on doing that little by little, but that is the grand vision of it. Links to the TypeMatch app and to our website are below.
Your personality is unique. It's hard to find someone that understands you. Try dating using personality type matching. Find out who you're compatible with using Myers-Briggs and Big 5 personality scores. Download TypeMatch and start dating by personality type compatibility today. TypeMatch, available on App Store and Play Store.